Have you ever been insulted so deeply that for days it burned inside your chest like poison? Someone looked at you, spoke a few words, and suddenly your mind was spinning, your pride was crushed, and you couldn't stop replaying that moment again and again. That's not just an insult. That's psychological domination. When someone insults you, they are not joking. They are stabbing your soul in front of witnesses, carving away your dignity, reducing you to nothing. And the worst part? Most people don't even fight back. They laugh nervously, they try to defend themselves, or they stay silent with a fake smile while dying inside. That, my friend, is how weakness is exposed. That is how predators mark their prey. But listen carefully. If you continue reacting like an ordinary victim, you will always be a target. Always. Because human beings are vicious. We test each other constantly. We insult not just for humor, but to measure strength, to see if you break, to see if you bleed. And when you bleed, the wolves smell it. You think you're keeping the peace by ignoring an insult? You're not. You're giving your enemy permission to spit on your pride whenever they want. You're handing them the crown while you crawl in the dirt. That's why today, I will show you how to respond like a Machiavellian, cold, calculating, untouchable. Because if you don't, you will keep living as a puppet of other people's words. Niccolò Machiavelli understood one brutal truth. Respect is not given. It is taken. And every insult is a battlefield where respect is either won or lost. When someone dares to insult you, they are challenging your throne. They are trying to humiliate you in front of others, to steal your power, and leave you naked. And here is the terrifying part. The crowd is watching. People around you, whether friends, strangers, or enemies, are judging you in that instant. They're asking themselves, is this person strong, or are they weak? And your reaction decides it. If you explode in rage, you look unstable. If you stay silent with shame, you look broken. But if you respond like a Machiavellian, calm, cunning, merciless, you terrify your enemies. You seduce the crowd, and you make sure no one dares to humiliate you again. So let me ask you, how many times have you let someone spit on your pride without striking back? How many times have you laughed off an insult to hide the fact that it destroyed you inside? Be honest. Because every time you did, you sent a message to the world. I am weak. I can be mocked. I can be disrespected. And once that reputation is born, it spreads like fire. People will treat you the way you allow yourself to be treated. And if you allow disrespect, disrespect becomes your destiny. But it doesn't have to be. Because the Machiavellian knows how to turn insults into weapons. He knows how to twist humiliation into fear. And after today, so will you. Before we continue, I want you to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And in the comments, tell me your city and country, because I want to know exactly where in the world this army of dangerous minds is rising. Now listen carefully. When you are insulted, you are standing in the middle of an execution stage. Your enemy is trying to cut your throat with words, and everyone around you is waiting to see if you'll bleed. That moment is not about the insult itself. It's about survival. Psychological survival. Reputation survival. Because in the cruel theater of human interaction, one mistake can label you forever. The man who looked weak once will always be remembered as weak. The woman who couldn't defend herself once will always be mocked. People remember humiliation far longer than they remember victories. That is why the way you handle insults is not just about ego. It is about power, legacy, and control. The Machiavellian does not cry. He does not rage. He does not beg. He observes. He calculates. He strikes only when it matters most. Every insult becomes fuel. Every attack becomes proof of his superiority. Because the truth is this: the one who controls the meaning of the insult controls reality itself. If you make their words bounce off you like nothing, they lose. If you twist their words into something ridiculous, they become the clown. If you turn their insult into a knife that cuts them deeper than they imagined, they regret ever opening their mouth. That is how you transform humiliation into dominance. Most people believe the strongest response to an insult is shouting louder, hitting back harder, or proving themselves instantly. That's wrong. That's childish. That's exactly what the insulter wants. They want you to burn with rage, to lose control, to expose your weakness for the whole world to see. And once you've shown that weakness, they've already won. A Machiavellian knows better. He knows that raw emotion is slavery. True power comes from mastery. Mastery of your tongue. Mastery of your face. Mastery of your silence. Imagine being insulted in front of a crowd and feeling nothing. No flinch, no shame, no anger. Just stillness. Do you realize how terrifying that is for your enemy? They stab you with words, expecting blood, but you don't bleed. You don't even blink. In that moment, the power dynamic shifts. You become the predator. They become the fool who tried to strike a god. But here's where the game becomes even more sinister. A Machiavellian doesn't only defend, he uses insults as opportunities to build his legend. He doesn't just survive attacks, he grows stronger from them. Think of it like this: every insult is a spark. Ordinary men let it burn them. The Machiavellian takes that spark and lights a fire that consumes his enemy. This is why humor, silence, and calculated counterattacks are so dangerous in the hands of a strategist. They don't just neutralize the insult, they weaponize it. Let me give you an example. Someone calls you pathetic. You could yell back, prove them wrong, or sulk in silence. Or, like a Machiavellian, you could tilt your head, smirk, and say, "Pathetic people usually don't scare you this much." Suddenly, their insult has been flipped back on them, making them look desperate, obsessed, weak. The crowd laughs, not at you, but at them. And in that laughter, their power is destroyed. The insult that was meant to wound you becomes the noose that hangs them. Do you see the pattern? The insult itself doesn't matter. What matters is who controls the perception. And perception, in the end, is everything. Machiavelli taught us that appearances are often more powerful than truth. You don't have to actually be invulnerable. You only have to appear invulnerable. Once people believe you cannot be broken, they will stop trying to break you. But let's go darker. Because sometimes silence and humor are not enough. Sometimes you must strike back with cruelty. Not childish cruelty, not uncontrolled rage, but surgical, merciless cruelty. The kind that leaves scars. A Machiavellian counterattack doesn't just return the insult. It exposes the attacker's hidden wounds. It pulls their skeletons out of the closet for everyone to see. And here's the secret. The most effective counterattacks are rarely loud. They're quiet, calm, delivered with the sharpness of a dagger sliding between ribs. Imagine someone mocks your intelligence in front of others. Most people would argue, list their achievements, try to defend their ego. The Machiavellian, however, waits. He lets the laughter rise, lets the attacker feel comfortable. And then, with perfect timing, he says something like, "Interesting. coming from a man whose life is still in pieces despite how smart he thinks he is. The laughter dies. The room chills. The attacker suddenly looks exposed, naked, ashamed. And everyone who witnessed it realizes something terrifying. You are not a victim. You are a hunter. This is the essence of Machiavellian psychology. To take what was meant to humiliate you and turn it into a reminder of your superiority. Every insult becomes proof that your enemies fear you enough to attack you. Because think about it. No one insults the powerless. No one mocks the invisible. If you are being insulted, it means you are a threat. That's the real meaning hidden in every attack. And once you understand this, you stop being offended and start being entertained. Insults become signs of your rising dominance. But here is where most people fail. They confuse patience with weakness. They think that ignoring an insult means letting it go. A Machiavellian never truly lets it go. He remembers. He stores it like poison in a vial, waiting for the perfect time to release it. Because revenge, when delivered instantly, feels good but fades quickly. But revenge, when delivered strategically, when the enemy has forgotten, when the audience is largest, when the humiliation will cut deepest, that revenge is eternal. That revenge rewrites history. Think about it. How many kings, emperors, and leaders were mocked in their early years only to rise and crush those who laughed at them? History is full of them. Insults are temporary. Power is permanent. And the Machiavellian never wastes energy fighting every small attack. He saves his strength for the strike that will annihilate his enemy completely. That is why Machiavelli himself advised rulers. It is better to destroy than to injure, because a living enemy will always come back. But a humiliated enemy, crushed in front of the world, becomes a warning. Now let's explore the psychology behind insults even deeper. When someone insults you, they are not only attacking your image, they are also projecting their own fears and insecurities. A coward calls others cowards. A failure mocks success. The jealous insult those they secretly admire. Every insult is a confession disguised as an attack. And if you can see through it, you will never be intimidated again. In fact, you will laugh. Because you will realize the person insulting you is revealing more about themselves than about you. The Machiavellian smiles at insults because he knows they are hidden truths spoken by fools. But here's the problem. You can't just know this. You have to show it. If someone insults you and you look hurt, no one cares about the psychology behind it. You've lost. That's why you must train your face, your voice, your body. No flinching, no trembling, no hesitation. Absolute control. You must learn to wear the mask of indifference. Because once the world sees that their words do not move you, they will stop trying. They will fear you instead. Picture this. An entire room turns against you. Someone insults you loudly, expecting you to collapse. All eyes are on you. The air is heavy. This is the crucible of power. This is where reputations are forged. And you? Smile. Just slightly. Not nervously, not weakly, but with calm contempt. That smile tells the world, I am untouchable. And in that moment, you win. The attacker loses not just the battle, but their credibility. They become the clown, and you become the storm. Let's be brutally honest. The world doesn't respect kindness when it's weak. The world respects strength, control, and power. And insults are the arena where strength is tested. If you fail here, nothing else matters. But if you succeed, if you can turn every insult into a stepping stone, you become unstoppable. You rise above the petty games of ordinary people. You enter the realm of lions, where every word is a weapon, and every silence is a declaration of dominance. So remember this: when insulted, do not react like prey. Do not react like the common man. React like a Machiavellian, cold, cunning, merciless. Because in the theater of human cruelty, only those who master the art of insult survival will rule. And if you're watching this right now, it means you are ready to rule. But let me warn you, this path is not for the faint of heart. To be Machiavellian when insulted, you must abandon the illusions that society feeds you. You've been told all your life to ignore bullies, to be the bigger person, to not let words hurt you. That's a lie. Those who told you that were either too weak to fight or too naive to understand the brutal reality of human nature. The truth is that words can kill reputations. Words can destroy families. Words can spark wars. Words can ruin your career, your relationships, even your sanity. To ignore them completely is to play dead while the vultures eat your flesh. A Machiavellian does not ignore. He calculates. He chooses the right moment to let silence suffocate his enemies and the right moment to cut their throats with their own words. You must stop thinking like a victim. Victims ask, "Why me? Why are they insulting me?" Machiavellians ask, "How can I use this insult to increase my power?" Victims sulk and complain. Machiavellians smile and plot. Victims feel shame. Machiavellians feel opportunity. If you can shift your mindset from victimhood to strategy, no insult will ever have power over you again. Let's drill this deeper into your mind. Every insult you receive is a test of strength, of composure, of dominance. Fail the test, and you'll be branded weak for years. Pass the test, and you'll be feared, respected, admired. Think of the people you admire most. Leaders, warriors, icons. Do you think they were never insulted? They were insulted constantly, mocked, ridiculed, spat on. But what made them legends was their ability to rise above it, not with silence alone, but with power, with psychological mastery, with a presence that crushed their enemies without needing to shout. And here lies the ultimate Machiavellian secret. Insults are not obstacles. They are gifts. They are the raw material you can use to forge your empire. Because every time someone tries to humiliate you, they hand you a chance to prove your strength. They hand you a stage to dominate. They hand you a weapon disguised as an attack. Most people throw that weapon away. You will not. You will take it, sharpen it, and drive it back into the heart of the one who dared to strike you. So, the next time you are insulted, do not panic. Do not flinch. Do not lower your head. Look them in the eyes. Study their weakness. Feel the crowd watching. And then decide, will I kill them with silence? Will I humiliate them with humor? Or will I destroy them with a counterattack so sharp it echoes in their nightmares? That choice, made with calm calculation, is what makes you Machiavellian. From this day forward, you must never let another insult pass without turning it into power. You must never again let words control you. You are no longer the victim. You are the hunter. You are the strategist. You are the lion among sheep. And the next fool who tries to mock you will not be laughing when they realize they've awakened something they cannot control. This is the law of Machiavellian psychology. Insults are traps, but only for the weak. For the strong, for the cunning, for the cold and merciless, insults are stepping stones to dominance. Remember it. Live it. Breathe it. Because the day you master this, no one will ever dare to disrespect you again. They will fear your silence. They will fear your smile. They will fear the moment their insult becomes the blade that cuts their own throat. So I ask you one final question. The next time someone insults you, will you react like prey, or will you respond like a Machiavellian?